and welcome to the Reflection Show with me, Martha Inspires. Have you heard about violence extremism, or what you've just been hearing is gender and sexual-based violence, abuse, etc. Maybe you've known it, you've experienced it, but you've named it something else. Today's conversation is going to open our minds to violence extremism and how we can all play a great role to reducing it or even taking it off completely. I'll be speaking with Mr. Fuseni Seidu, who works with OneUp Ghana at the Tamale office. OneUp is an NGO, and then Mr. Samuel J, licensed counselor and also a development practitioner here in Tamale. So they've had first experiences, or they know much about this topic, so they are the right people to engage us in this conversation. Stay tuned. When we are back, we delve into more. I am Martha Inspires.
What happens when young people are empowered and given the right opportunities, guidance, and support? Great things happen. Well, this year's Youth Empowerment Summit is bringing together over 3,500 passionate young people, leaders, professionals, and change makers for a day of learning, inspiration, and growth.
Today's youth are tomorrow's leaders, entrepreneurs, innovators, and community builders. But many young people need access to right knowledge, mentorship, opportunities to reach their full potential.
For years, this summit has impacted the lives of thousands of young people across northern Ghana and beyond, equipping them with valuable skills, confidence, and a renewed sense of purpose. And this year, we are even aiming to reach more young people.
At the summit, participants will engage in inspiring talks, practical training sessions, networking opportunities, and conversation that will empower them to become better executors of their goals.
When we invest in young people, we invest in a stronger community, thriving business, and a brighter future for all. The Youth Empowerment Summit is not just an event, but it's a platform for raising confident leaders, innovators, and change makers. Join us as we empower the next generation and make a lasting impact.
We cannot do this alone. We are inviting institutions, businesses, organizations, individuals to partner with us as sponsors and supporters. Your support will help us create a living life experience for over 3,000 people.
Yes, and of course, join us in empowering the next generation. Whether you are a young person looking to grow, a sponsor ready to broaden your audience and make an impact, or a partner who shares our vision, we would love to have you on board. Together, let's inspire, equip, and empower tomorrow's leaders.
Call us or WhatsApp us on
054 957 8512
or visit our website at
www.marthainspires.org to donate.
Welcome back from the break. It's still the Reflection Show with me, Martha Inspires. We are looking at violence extremism. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me.
Thank you, Martha, for having us. Yeah.
Let me start from Mr. Fuseni. Violence extremism, what is it?
Well, thank you very much for having me and for giving me the opportunity. I want to also use the opportunity to express my gratitude to my co-workers, my colleagues at OneUp Ghana for the support since I joined them some few years ago. Yes, when it comes to violent extremism, it basically has to do with the use of force or coercion to pursue a political, an ideological or religious agenda or a goal. So in this day and age, we've come to realize that there are a lot of insecurity hovering around West Africa and even beyond West Africa. So you notice that once in a while we hear people say terrorist. Like you mentioned in your introduction, we could give you different terms. So others see it as terrorism, then violent extremism. They virtually are the same, because at the end of the day, they bring about violence, harm, or deaths, or even injury to affected populations. So that is just basically what it is. It involves the use of force or violence to pursue political ideology, religious or otherwise. Yeah.
Councillor Sami, violence extremism.
Yes, I think Sini had really said regards to everyone. So it's basically one's thinking that you have to use violence or force to achieve our goal. So under normal circumstances, you may think of if you want to achieve a goal, if you want to pursue something, then it should be about negotiations, requesting and all that. But those with this ideology think that it is by use of violence for which we can attain our goal or we can achieve what we want to achieve. And like he mentioned, it's termed basically as terrorism. But then from my background as a development practitioner and as a counselor, it's very subtle. Okay? Even in our homes,
yes,
that is where it emanates from. I'm very sure that maybe going on we would delve into some of these things. But it starts from our homes. Certain things that we might overlook from even our children, even as they grow up. Okay, that is where it starts from, and they grow with it, and then it becomes an issue. So we have them in our homes, we have them in our communities, ethnic issues, chieftaincy issues, and all that. That is where it emanates from, and then it gets to cross border issues and all that. Yes. So basically, that is what.
Let's look at some misconceptions on violent extremism.
Yes. So basically, we think that it is all related to religion. When we mention terrorism, one's mind is tuned to a particular religion. Okay, but it's beyond that. Like I indicated, it has to do with tribal or ethnic tendencies, chieftaincy issues, home, even in the home, in marriages, in our relationships and all that. It's also things that are in that space. Okay, so it is not just about religion tendencies, but ethnic issues, chieftaincy issues. You have a vacant seat and people are supposed to buy for it, and for one gate to say that we would have to get it, they think that they have to use violence before they can
so
be held.
Does gender issues also fall in? All falling, because the fact is that even at the workplace,
yes, issues come up and we are talking about it. And one thing that because I am of this gender, my voice will not be heard, and so before my voice is heard, I have to use violence. It is happening in Ghana. Political parties, if elections are held, recently the last election that we had, that there was a change of government. Okay. People took hostage of some offices. Right? Under normal circumstances, a party has left power, another party is coming into power. I mean, transitioning should be
easy,
democratically done. But others thought that they needed to use violence to go and barricade or to close offices before they could have access to whatever that they have. So that is one of them. We think that it's just about religious issues, but it is not just so. We might also think that it is far off from Ghana. When we mention terrorism, we don't think about Ghana. We think it is just in the neighboring countries, Burkina and Cote d'Ivoire and the rest. But research actually shows that there are violence extremism tendencies in the country. A lot of people in Ghana have actually even joined some of these so-called terrorist groups, extremist groups that we are even thinking they are far off from us.
Okay.
So even in Ghana we have it. It is not just around us, but it's actually within us as well. Yes.
Okay. Foseni, I want us to come to the basic. I like where he ended, the basic in our homes. What are some of the, should I say, signs and symptoms, like things that are happening that, because we just keep hearing about what the Boko fight in Ghana, when there's election, we are fight. But you see, I feel that it has a little, something started.
Yeah, that's true. From the homes, you will notice that maybe even the discriminatory tendencies that we carry out. You prefer one child to another. You buy gifts for some group of children, the home against the others. You don't favor everybody. You don't create a fair playground for everybody at home. when that happens, children who are affected by those discriminatory tendencies usually resort to finding comfort at other places. So, and these are the places that the extremists take advantage of.
True.
You know, when they come into a community, they're looking out for people who want to actually carry out a certain change. They want to influence the society in a certain manner. So a group of people got discriminated against. They've grown into their 20s. No jobs are available for them. They are not favored by anybody. So when they come and then they entice them with job opportunities. Oh, come around. We are around for you. Your homes are against you, but we are here. And sometimes they even get very comfortable places for such people. And they create opportunities for them to get some stipends or payments from time to time. And of course, everybody wants to survive. So if people do not really get that from a society that ought to support them with those assistance, and they get that from other people, of course they will surely lean towards these people. So those tendencies create avenue for that to happen. And also our poverty situation. Yes, you know, I wouldn't say Northern Ghana alone. In Ghana generally, our poverty levels are very high. Even among the so-called employed people, they equally face some strenuous instances of poverty around. So these extremists take advantage of that. Let's not forget that they are involved in this illicit flow of money. And that's why of late you hear of arms trafficking and what have you, drug trafficking. They take advantage of all this. They get hold of drugs that they can sell, make money, and then they finance their activities. So all these form the foundations, as you said, of violent extremism.
What makes us vulnerable?
Yes, the fact that you see in our societies the disparities have become one too many. We are not united. We sometimes get disunited by religious tendencies. People are still in this society or in this country where they still believe that I'm a Muslim, I'm a Christian, I don't have to have anything to do with another person from another background, maybe different religious background. So these extremists take advantage of that. Mr. Sami mentioned that we even sometimes misconceive violent extremism to be perpetrated by certain religious people. But if it is so, you will notice that some mosques have also been bombed. And then if you are trying to champion a religious cause, maybe for Islam, then why are you bombing people who have gone to pray in the mosque? Then the same happens, they go to bomb churches too. So these people hide behind a lot of facades and they perpetrate these acts. And so they are difficult to actually read and detect because they always outsmart the society and the security around them. They come in, operate in a very smart manner that nobody notices that they are these people.
They use
the beggars we have in our society.
Yeah.
Many of them come in, they come and then beg as if and those who dealing with this scraps dealing or whatever. The understanding is that as they go around the communities, they observe wealthy homes, they pick information, they pick signals. And you and I don't even understand their language. We just see them as hustlers who have come around, a beggar who has come to survive. But they actually are spies in disguise who are carrying out information to their people.
The last time I even heard someone say that sometimes they'll even come in and pretend like they are NGOs helping.
Yes.
So they would even fund certain activities to be getting information.
Yes, exactly. So like I said about unemployment, people come to set up NGOs. They claim they want to engage in youth advocacy, youth development initiatives. People get involved. And, you know, in there, let me use Matter Inspires as an example. Nobody knows what goes on here until you are working here.
Yeah.
So the kind of influencing that goes on, we don't know. The same applies to One Up Ghana. Nobody knows what we do until we just put out our report and what have you.
Yeah.
But what if we have another agenda that nobody outside the One Up home or One Up staff knows? You see that? So they come in the form of NGOs, they influence people, then they take charge. So we can't relegate that to the background actually.
How can we, reduce it, I want us to really stay with the homes, counselor, with the homes. A father may be using that method to make sure that certain things are happening in the home. The father would probably be using, I don't know the example to give. Maybe if you don't do this, you won't eat.
Yeah.
I won't give you food.
Punitive measures.
Yeah, so we've all gone through violence extremism in our homes whilst growing up, and we didn't know.
Yes. So you realize that you get to some homes, basically there are some children who, when they request of something and you think of denying or not giving it to them, they throw themselves onto the floor.
That's crying.
Some wailing, crying and all that. Yeah. I mean, these are subtle ways, these are subtle developments of the children as they grow up. Okay. There are some who would fake sickness or illness so that you give them what they need, because they think that they are not getting enough attachment, enough love, affection from the parents. And so when they fake that they are sick, that is where if they need the sweets, they need
that's why you can't even shout on them when they are wrong.
Yeah. So whatever they request, that they are on this, that they are on this, you provide it for them. That is a subtle way of it. So as parents, and for me as a counselor, we have something we call unconditional positive regard. You are loving somebody because not because the person has done something good. Okay, you are loving somebody not because the person has performed well in an exams, but you are loving the person because the person is a human being. Because the person is your child. So it is not like you are tying maybe something you are supposed to provide for the child to something that the child should do. So if you are a father, you are providing the basic needs, you are a parent, you are providing the basic needs to your child, not because he or she has performed well in an exams. That can become an added bonus that you have part, and so I'm adding on this. But the basic necessities for the child are not supposed to be tied to the child passing an exams, are not supposed to be tied to the child cleaning the home.
Or not eating, or not denying food.
Not at all. These are some things that as parents from the homes we should be actually looking at. Because otherwise, if the child goes out and he is given that freely with no condition, then the child has a mind shifted onto that. So growing up, he or she would want to belong. And every is one basic need of everyone, to feel belonged. And that is why one key thing about this violent extremism is about people who are marginalized. Once I don't feel belonged, then I find a way to belong. And if that will mean that I have to do that through violence, I will do it. So in our homes, as parents, these are certain things that we are supposed to be very careful about. That we are showing unconditional positive regard, love that is unconditional to our family members, to our kids, to our wives, everybody around us. It is not because the person is coming from a certain tribe. It is not because the person is having a status, some status, like because he's a chief, because he's a politician, he's rich or whatever. That is why certain privileges or benefits are given to the person. But because the person is a human being. Okay, because the person is just a human being. I remember when I was in the university, first degree time, there are many people who don't actually know where I come from, like the region or whatever tribe that I belong to. That is because I don't relate to people because they come from the same tribe with me.
Yeah.
And that is almost always the last question I ever ask somebody that I encounter.
It's true. Some people meet you and the first question they ask you is, what tribe are you? I remember during the weekend, I was just bored. So I just went to sit somewhere for just 30 minutes. I was even on a call. Then there were some two men, like elderly men who were sitting. And I get that even from a lot of people. And they ask, you know, what's your name? I mentioned. Where do you come from? What tribe are you? And I'm like, so like that's
if you don't get that, What does it
So I
mean?
told them that no, where I'm coming from is complicated. And they were like, I said, no, I can't tell them.
Those are often the last questions I ever ask somebody.
Yes.
I get things.
Because for security reasons, I'm asking why you want to know where I even live in Tamale and my tribe and stuff.
So I remember back in the university, you know, we have these maybe like Northern Region Student Association and all those things. So I decided I'm not joining any of those groups. But then I was staying in the Northern region. So I remember the Northern students came, I should join them and all that. Then where I actually come from to, they came, I should join and all that. I was like, I'm not interested. So I was in a room with a colleague who was a friend to my home region's association there. I think they're one of the executives. This guy had been in my room a number of times because of my roommate. They were offering the same program, the same course. There was no time he had entered the room and had ever greeted me, but I would be in the room. So it came to a time that I think they were scouting for people from that region. So he came to my roommate and they were conversing, and I was like, oh, I am moving around looking for people from this region. Then my roommate was like, he's from your region, or he's your tribe. So that was where he was like, hey, my brother. I was like,
I'm not your brother.
I was like, you've been in this room, we've been here for more than 2 years. You've come here on and off, and you've never offered to like even greet, not to talk of having a conversation with me. Just today you got notice from my roommate that I am your tribe mate. You want to show all the love. I'm not that kind of person. So since then, whenever he sees me outside on campus, then irrespective of the distance, he would want to wave at me and mention my name. And I'm like, that is not me. So we should accept people not because of where they are coming from.
Do you think it's because of what we are taught, you know, that from that young age? Let me come to senior on this. That young age, we are taught that these people are this tribe, we don't. But I think Northern region, we have that. I don't know of the South. Northern region, we have Frafres and Dagatis who are playmates. We have Dagombes. And I don't know of the South if we have Mampusis and other tribe. You know, we have tribe, you know, that has closed the gap within the 5 northern regions. But I think we are also, people down there sometimes do not really appreciate. Is it because of what we are taught?
Well, I even, from what he just said, I just related a little that for me, throughout my school days, people even ask me, they want to know the religion I belong to. They always say I don't. When I tell them my religion, tell them I'm Muslim, they say, but you don't look like a Muslim. Then I ask them, how does a Muslim look
How
like?
does a Muslim look?
Should a Muslim be wearing jalabia all the time and be having the rosary, and then, you understand? And that's also because of how maybe my co-Muslims also portray the religion, right? They go everywhere, they are in the jalabia, and it got to a point when I was doing my master's at University for Development Studies, a lecturer who is actually an alhaj banned students from wearing the jalabia. He told them that this is a formal setting. You are no more religious than I am. I have been to Mecca. You haven't gone there yet, and you are coming for lectures and you are wearing jalabia. You can wear a t-shirt, a Lacoste, something that will just make you look. So at least your religion is not easily traced. Because you are, in that regard, you are even exposing yourself to needless targets. In terms of security. If somebody is targeting a Muslim to hit, they can easily just get you. You get that. So back to what you said, it's not necessarily about the background. For me, what I know about Northerners is that we greet a lot. We greet a lot. If I'm passing by,
I'm not greeted.
They will take offense to that, right? If I'm passing by, I'll greet. If I'm coming back in the next second, I'm even forced to greet again.
It's true.
You see that we are so used to that. And for me, it is something that really opens up conversations. You understand? Like Mr. Sami mentioned, if the guy he just narrated had even greeted him those days alone, you could have established a certain relationship. So you get to know yourselves, that you are even tribe mates, when you are even built a certain rapport. But you don't come and then they tell, okay, he's from Upper East or Upper West, then you say, oh, my brother. Then what's the brother? So you must know where I come from before. You get that. So it's the background, right? But some of us misinterpret it. And So we begin to behave as, excuse my language, we have to be looking more special than some people. Have you observed the whites, those who carry out crimes? They don't come wearing masks and other. They wear suits, wear tie. Is that not it? When you watch those,
and our perception is that when you are dressed in that way, you are an honorable person.
Nobody will detect you. But this, look at our politicians. Do you see them wearing baggy and saggy clothing? But how much money are we not accusing them of stealing? Is that not it?
I like that.
You get that.
That was an escape route. Are we not accusing?
Yes. We've always said, and there have always been evidence that in one way or the other, somebody is in court.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So the whites are able to even carry out crimes without people knowing. But we, even before you be a criminal, you see the person already having some aligning himself to Rastafarianism, which we already see as a perception. We already see as something that is aligned to criminality. You end up seeing that person, and the person might have been somebody who is a smoker, who is a drug addict. But the whites, their criminals don't do that. There are people who plan targets, and they carry out, and nobody even knows.
They can even monitor you for months. They just try to know.
They carry out espionage, spying for information. They carried out for so many years before they hit. And that's why when they do it with perfection. You easily would detect how it even went on. Look at the 9/11 attack in 2001 or 2002 on America by Osama bin Laden's Al-Qaeda. It just didn't happen at once. Information even has it that he even was trained in the U.S. Army before.
Wow.
So they won't just go. They'll make sure they carry it out. At a certain point, they are seeing that somebody's life is at risk. They can easily switch another person to come in, and nobody even know that he's going to continue with that crime. You understand? So that brings to the question, what are our security doing?
Yeah, that was the next question.
Right? You see that the border, every now and then we have attacks in Burkina Faso, Togo, Mali, Cote d'Ivoire. We are seeing them in we're just feeling they're in other countries, but trust me, they're just very close to us. I think in February last year, or even this year, a number of, I think 7 Ghanaians were bombed in Burkina Faso. There were tomato traders who went there to buy tomato. Northern Burkina, in a town called Titao. And unfortunately, the extremists launched an attack there. About 20 people died, including all the 7 Ghanaians. So that's what he said, that we're seeing extremism as far off. It's just very close to us. Nobody knew they will go there one day and get attacked. So our security setup, West Africans, Ghanaians, we all have to find a way of strengthening our controls. And maybe our security people have to just say that, because there's a lot of allegation about them also being compromised. Sometimes we allow trucks to carry goods out, and they don't even bother to find out what is in there, what's in that consignment. Recently, some Ghanaians were arrested or so, I think in Australia, for attempt to smuggle cocaine or drugs. I think meth, one drug like that. In Chaco, they considered and they took it, then they detected it. Even recent, I think just yesterday, the Interior Minister alleged that some bullion vans that would otherwise are expected to be sending money to banks, after offloading their money, they carry drugs. And security would have detected, but now they are insisting that let us check. And usually when they check, they get something criminal about that van. Either it's carting away drugs, ambulances are used to carry weed. You see, so that is the situation.
Even ambulances?
Yes. He mentioned it yesterday.
About some years back, I think there was one of these ambulances that was impounded on with weed. Yes.
So we just take advantage
they bribe the drivers to put it in, or...
So what they do exactly, because maybe...
They know that ambulances
They know the driver's superior.
Yeah.
So, for instance, if I'm working as a driver of an ambulance or a bullion van, and my superior tells me that after 10 minutes when you submit, or when you deliver this money, or maybe you send this patient here and you're coming back, pass by this place for this and come with it, or take it from this point to... You go.
Which maybe no, maybe pass here and get me food, pass here and buy me yam. Sometimes when they are
You just say,
traveling,
I have a box here that I want to bring to the
Yes.
office. You will pick it without even knowing what
the content
contained in it. So there's a lot we need to
Is it that we are not
enforce our
also
security.
equipped? You mentioned security. Is it that we are not also equipped with the right resources to fight these? Because they are on their roads.
Yes, so for me, that is one in terms of logistics. But I also believe that the human face too is the biggest source of compromise. Because people have got to a point where they feel that, well, if somebody can do their own dirty deals and get some 1 million Ghana cedis or dollars and nobody knows that the person is building their mansion, let me also try this one do I can also do and get some $500,000. Who will catch me? So we are getting to a point where we are not secured anymore. It's just a few security people who have chosen to do what is right. Even look at our communities, even our classrooms. The person who asks a lot of questions, we say the person is too knowing. When that person challenges a lecturer to teach better, to research better important, we say this child or this student is too knowing.
Yeah.
But the person is there to teach.
Then teachers take action against that student.
And they form a certain cabal against such a student. So it even shuts that person up. So it's the same with our system. If everybody is trying to allow the negatives to go on, then who will sit for the right things to be done?
Okay. Councillor Sami, what can the development system or the NGOs we talk about? But sometimes it looks like it just ends with projects. It just ends with projects. So what can we do that maybe a mother, a father, a teacher, a young person is watching us? Because based on our conversation, we have all either practiced violence extremism, we have experienced it. We may not have experienced it before practicing it, but we have practiced it even before knowing
what that was.
And it's like we push a lot of these things under gender-based violence, but it's all violence extremism. So what can we do better at the development space in the preventing violence extremism?
So I think I'll begin with what you are currently doing. I think it's one of the major things that can be done. Like we indicated, we might have been doing it, but we didn't even know that is what it was. So education advocacy is one key thing that we need to constantly do, just like we are doing. I think we need the other media stations, both social, both online, both traditional media, to speak about these things. Okay. And the next I think we can also look at is about strengthening our institutions. Okay. Like we indicated, projects are carried out, and at the end of the project, what next? Where is accessibility? Okay. So whilst development organizations are looking at projects, implementing projects, I think one key thing that should be focused on is about strengthening institutions, the local government institutions, community level institutions, to ensure that there's sustainability after projects are implemented. Okay, because if that is not done, then when we were sitting down, we were just talking about the funding of the NGO space. For the fact that just about a year ago, stop work order has actually has exposed so much of our funding capacity as a nation to implement projects. We're talking about the fact that, and one key issue about this, the vulnerabilities of it, is unemployment. It's unemployment. And we have currently a number of people who are even at home because of the stop work order. I have colleagues who are currently at home because their projects
has ended
from night. Their project has ended. So
the organization cannot absorb all of them.
But you see, if projects are focused on strengthening the institutions, okay, so you go to the assemblies, if it is local assemblies, you have departments that you want to actually strengthen in terms of project implementation and all that, and how to write proposals, seeking funding and all those stuff. Then we know that even if projects end, okay, we have the resource persons in the various institutions to be also able to carry out or to continue such implementation, because they are closer to the communities, they are closer to the people,
and they don't need funding to do that.
To do those steps. So if community development departments capacity is built or strengthened to be able to go into communities, carry out how do you call it, community engagement sensitizations. We have the information services departments of the various assemblies and all that being strengthened to be able to go out into the communities and give out the information, provide advocacy, and having the vans running out and talking about some of these things. I think we would all become abreast with the information so that we are not misinformed. Okay, we know what we are supposed to do. And recently somebody said, it is said that if we see something, say something. The question that we have not asked ourselves is, what is it that if you see, you should say? What is it?
And we actually say that mostly during elections.
Yes, if you see something,
not an everyday thing that
what are you supposed to see to say something?
To say. So if I see something, I can be, what can I see you on your motorbike? I've seen you riding your motorbike, so I should say what?
What should I say? And what should I say?
Yeah.
Who do I even report to? And what is the guarantee that once I even report,
it will be acted on?
It will be acted on. One, I am
protected.
Not becoming a target, but I'm protected.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want you to hold on to that point. I'll take a break. When we are back, we'll look at that into detail. It's still the Reflection Show. We are looking at violence extremism, and we have understood that all of us have practiced violence extremism. When he mentioned that there are times that you want your parents to do something and they don't, and you take an action just for them to. We've all done that, or we have pretended to be sick not to go to school. We've all been victims or experienced or practiced that. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
What happens when young people are empowered and given the right opportunities, guidance, and support? Great things happen. Well, this year's Youth Empowerment Summit is bringing together over 3,500 passionate young people, leaders, professionals, and change makers for a day of learning, inspiration, and growth.
Today's youth are tomorrow's leaders, entrepreneurs, innovators, and community builders. But many young people need access to right knowledge, mentorship, opportunities to reach their full potential.
For years, this summit has impacted the lives of thousands of young people across northern Ghana and beyond, equipping them with valuable skills, confidence, and a renewed sense of purpose. And this year, we are even aiming to reach more young people.
At the summit, participants will engage in inspiring talks, practical training sessions, networking opportunities, and conversation that will empower them to become better executors of their goals.
When we invest in young people, we invest in a stronger community, thriving business, and a brighter future for all. The Youth Empowerment Summit is not just an event, but it's a platform for raising confident leaders, innovators, and change makers. Join us as we empower the next generation and make a lasting impact.
We cannot do this alone. We are inviting institutions, businesses, organizations, individuals to partner with us as sponsors and supporters. Your support will help us create a living life experience for over 3,000 people.
Yes, and of course, join us in empowering the next generation. Whether you're a young person looking to grow, a sponsor ready to broaden your audience and make an impact, or a partner who shares our vision, we would love to have you on board. Together, let's inspire, equip, and empower tomorrow's leaders.
Call us or WhatsApp us on
054 957 8512
or visit our website at
www.matterinspires.org to donate.
Welcome back. I am Martha Inspires. We are looking at violence, extremism, and today I'm just so happy because it just reminded me that we have just been naming some things, but it's under violence, extremism. Gender-based violence has been so loud because it has to do with gender, but some of those practices are violence extremism because maybe a couple or a partner would want to use certain measures to push their ideology. Yesterday I was watching it was a short clip on TikTok from Antenna where a husband was insisting that the wife has to stop her job, and when he kept shouting, I thought it was like a corporate job, like a CEO job or managerial job. She started selling condo. And I think in that community, it's a growing community. She has had, all of a sudden, she does it so well. She has a lot. She even has like up to 3, people. For you to have a shop that you employ 3 people in a growing community, that's a lot. And the man is insisting that the woman is not getting time to cook for him and even clean the house. And you're like, okay, you help her. Let her get house help. No, the wife must do them. So that's what violence extremism, right? But we'll call it what? Gender-based violence.
Yeah.
But that is using your let me say your manly power your manly power to force an ideology that a woman's place is in the kitchen. But that's not. So what should we start doing from the homes, saying to reduce violence extremism?
All right, thank you very much. I think for the homes, a lot, you see, attitudinal change, and we need to let that go very deeply. We need to inform, maybe speak to younger ones, our families and friends, to learn to stick to their ideologies that have been taught at home, the laws, the norms that we need to stick to in our communities. You see, we all like money because it will help us to do a lot of things if we want to carry them out. However, the challenge is with the source of money. And when it even comes, what you are even using it to do in the society. Let's, because we're into peace building and conflict management, we have something we call conflict entrepreneurs. There are people who are behind a lot of the conflicts that are happening, be they farmer-header conflicts, be they intertribal, chieftaincy, whatever. Because somebody is manufacturing guns, another person is buying and transporting them. They make so much money, right? Somebody is dealing in drugs that they will sell to people to get them stimulated to go out there and perpetrate violence, and they make so much money from that. So the attitude is one. Let people understand that certain attitudes will not help all of us in the society. It may benefit you, but if you look at the general good of the community, the society, you are the only one, or a few of you are those who will benefit. What about the entire community? Should everybody die because you want to become successful? If people were dying because others had to be cancer, then you wouldn't have even been born in the first instance. You would have been killed at birth. So we should increase our enlightenment around that area, building people's capacities, like you mentioned, education in the schools. You see, even today, in the senior high schools have become very violent. I don't know if you've heard of recent SHS students attacking their teachers for not allowing them engage in examination malpractice.
Yes.
A matter happened to be my mate at Nobisco. When in Nobisco, could we do that?
No.
Our headmaster will slap you. We all received that slap. Tony behind the camera was saying, we've all gone through that. You can't, even your appearance alone. He look, the man stuck to decency. Mr. Shaibu Adam Wilberforce is stuck to decency. You can't engage in exam. How will even start it? But today, students will come out, insult a whole president. Some students for not allowing them, that for deceiving them. That because they gave them past questions that were not what they actually saw. Who should give you past questions or questions ahead of exams? And you see, the society, we seem to be okaying these things. But we are just building a very disastrous future for ourselves. It means, because when we allow examination malpractice, it's already creating a ground for unfairness in the society. And second, it's making people to understand that you have to do criminal things to become successful, and the society will glorify that. Look at our communities. We seem not to respect the decent people.
Yeah.
The ones who have gone somewhere and in about 1 month, 2 months, they've come back with a car. We salute them. We worship them. But the question we've not asked ourselves is, how did they get those cars that they have come into the society with? That so-called quick wealth that they got. So we have a lot of sensitization to do as development practitioners, as families, as communities, and even as government. We cannot leave everything for the government. Government is already suffering with flooding and other issues, unemployment. But the little that we can do in our communities to ensure that at least we are alive to hustle, let me use that word, to hustle the coming days, at least let's also strengthen those. Then at the end of the day, I'm sure we should be able to resist people being recruited into extremism.
Councillor Sami, you are a family person. What can families do? Father, mother, couples, children, what can we do to reduce violence, extremism in our homes?
Yes, so I think I will still go back to the unconditional positive regard. That we show love to people beginning from the homes, not based on the fact that they have done something good, not based on the fact that they are good at school or they are good at something, not because, we asked them to do this and they were able to do it very well, and so because of that, we are showing them love. But we are showing them love because they are part of the family, because they are human beings. So you are taking care of your child, your wife, not because you ask your wife to cook and she has cooked for you. But you're providing for your wife because she's your wife. You're providing for your kids not because you asked them to clean your shoe and they did it so well, but because he or she is your child. That is the basic that we are supposed to begin from. Children, we are supposed to respect our parents, not because I came home requesting for my school fees and my father was able to provide that for me, but because he is my father. I am respecting my mother, I'm obeying the instructions of my mother, not because she was able to cook food for me and gave it to me, but because she is my mother. We need to begin to understand that from that level. Moving beyond is about the concept of inclusiveness. We need to include everyone. Because once inclusiveness is taken out, then marginalization comes in. And once somebody feels marginalized, then the person thinks that I need to act based on violence to get what I need. The Fube community is one key example when you come to Ghana. I have worked as a development practitioner, especially in water sanitation and hygiene. And one key thing that I have come in experience with was the fact that when we were engaging communities to take up sanitation issues on their own, building latrines for themselves, you go into communities where we have the Fube people staying at the outskirts of the communities. And then when you enter community, you're asking, how many houses do we have in the community? Then they tell you that we have 5 houses and
the
2
Fube homes.
So the Fube, they are not part of the community.
Yes, you ask them how many people are in this community.
So we are 10 houses. So we are 7 and the 3.
And then we have 2. So upon engaging them, realize that they were not involving them. They were not inviting them to community meetings, gatherings. Whenever we call for community gatherings, you go get there. And
they're not there. Unless you want to meet them alone, you also go to their place.
So we were like, we need to find solutions to this. So what we came out with, and I'm happy about that way the, especially Northern region, the environmental health units came out with that. We need to begin getting them on board, getting them as part of the communities. So what we did was that if a community goes through the processes and we are supposed to verify them to pass as an open defecation free community, if the Fube households don't have latrines, the whole community sort of, I'm using that because of how the whole community, if assuming the community has 7 households and all of them have latrines, and one Fube household, which is apart like a distance a bit, doesn't have a latrine, you will fail the community.
They should probably have it.
That was the system we put in place, that this is the strategy we need to develop. So we began with that. A community, you will go engage them, all of them will accept. The households will build the latrines and all that. So we are supposed to verify them to pass. Every household has a latrine. But once the Fube community, the Fube household doesn't have a latrine, we will fail that community. We started with that, and that is where they began to see the sense in the fact that these people are also part of them. Yeah. Because you see, they are not there on their own. They are there because somebody in the community have brought them to probably take care of their cattle.
In fact, some were even born there.
Yeah. And I'm coming to that.
Born,
because they have been brought there to take care of their cattle. So they are there because of you. Their actions and their inactions have a ripple effect on the community. You can imagine that you think that, oh, as for me, the whole community have built latrines, we are defecating into our latrines, so we are not defecating in the open.
But they are in the open.
But they are doing it in the open. So the housefly goes there. The housefly doesn't know that.
So even with latrines, there's so discrimination.
Exactly.
There's this movie that I watched in an office, and there was only one. I've forgotten the title. This lady that acted. Akrimoni, she did that movie, and she was the only black woman in the office, and she was not allowed to use the washroom. So during break, she has to leave the office. Like being in this office, and during break, you have to leave the office to wherever you go to use your. So there was a day that I think she took longer than necessary. It had rained, and her boss was like, "Where are you?" I said, "No, I had to go and use the latrine." And the boss said, "What?" And he angrily went to the washroom and removed it and said, "From today, everybody in this office goes to the washroom." And I think they were having another meeting also, like a board meeting. And she was very good with calculations with aeroplanes and stuff. And because she was black, she wasn't allowed. So there was a day, I think the secretary to the boss was not there, and they wanted the secretary. She went in there, and in her mind, she just took the maca and went in. Then that was how they started. So I don't understand how discriminate, and that comes in.
It's serious. Yeah. So you see that there are people who are Fubes, they have their, and by the Constitution of Ghana, to be a Ghanaian is by what? By birth.
Yes, apart from that,
those who have given
people can also register to be Ghanaian.
Disregard them as citizens of the country. And so if this continues, then they have no option than to use violence. He mentioned the other farmer conflicts that we have been having. And in Ghana, I think in the Jura area and in Afram Plains area, it's very common. Why is it happening? It is because the people are not seen as parts. They don't feel belonging. And once people don't feel belonged, the tendency for them to act violently is high. So we need to look at it from that angle, that as families, we are bringing everybody on board. We are loving everyone, not because they have done something good, but because they are a part of the family. We are going beyond into the communities and bringing everyone on board by including everyone and not discriminating against everyone. National level, how, like you mentioned, how our security parameters and institutions working. We need all these things worked on well. Otherwise, I am vulnerable to it, you are vulnerable to it. And that will not be helpful to us in any way.
Yeah, we are all at risk.
Serious.
Final words on violence, extremism, what we should do better. And I think personally it has also opened up my perspective on the minor things we don't. So for saying your final words.
Yes, so for me, I want to urge our communities to take responsibility for everybody's upkeep. We have orphans in the communities. If we neglect them, they can easily get recruited by extremists. And somebody who has gone through life the tough way will develop a certain thick skin, or maybe will not even have feelings for sympathizing with anybody. And those are the kind of people that they're always looking out for. So let's make sure that at least we are playing that parental role in everybody's lives. And let's ensure that, like you mentioned, we promote a lot of inclusion, social inclusion.
Okay, Councillor.
Yes, Martha. So it's not far from us. Like you indicated, we might have even been going through it without knowing it. And taking it to the extreme of what we actually know, it is just around us. What can I just hear? Okay, we have Togo, we have Cote d'Ivoire, and the rest of the other countries. We have people who are actually in Ghana, but they are getting recruited into some of these groups and all that. So we need to be vigilant. Our security agencies need to be vigilant and act as and when they are supposed to. Families, we have a role to play. Let's show love to everyone in the family. As communities, let's ensure that there is participation and inclusiveness of everyone. Because once you leave one person out, and the person feels marginalized, the person would have no option. The high tendency of acting violently is high. And so we need everyone on board so that we can curb violence, extremism.
So that on that note, it takes me to that the youth anthem that says that we are all involved in building our motherland, Ghana. So it's not someone's job. All of us, we are involved. And one point you made that struck me was that young people can even be recruited in this extra. And there's this movie, Beast of No Nation. If you watch that movie, what's the name of that boy? The boy who is now a big man. You know, he was his parent was violent, and because his parents were killed or whatever,
they were recruited as children soldiers.
And then I remember one scene in the movie where he actually took a cutlass and then had to kill,
slash somebody.
You know, and that is actually something that we don't expect our children to learn at a young age. So we are all involved. Violence, extremism. Look, I like the way we have broken it down. And not just focus on wars. Let me put it like that. That's how it starts. With some of the conflicts we have seen or heard about in northern region, northern zone, it was probably between a brother and a brother who had a little misunderstanding, and now one ethnic group are not speaking, and it's just so much disheartening. So we do not want violence. We do not want violence at all, because me, it's only Ghana me I have. If I go out of Ghana, anytime I even travel to Accra, I'm struggling to even be in Accra for more than 2 to 3 weeks. I want to come back to Tamale. It's like I'm just so used to Tamale. So imagine one day we wake up and there's violence. We will struggle. So we are begging every one of you watching this episode that let's do our best to prevent violence, extremism. I am Martha Inspires. Thank you so much for watching this episode. And as usual, Martha Inspires Foundation, we are asking for your support. Give us a call or a WhatsApp on 054-9578-512. You can also watch all our episodes of The Reflection Show on YouTube at Martha Inspires, Facebook Martha Inspires Foundation, and also The Reflection Show on Facebook, TikTok Martha Inspires, LinkedIn Martha Inspires Foundation, Instagram Martha Inspires Foundation. Let's get interactive and come and let's partner to help reduce child illiteracy in Ghana and especially in the northern region. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. I am Martha Inspires.